Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day everyone. For the first week lecture, which is Principles of Effective Oral Presentation, we're going to look at some of the principles that make an oral presentation effective. This is the learning outcome. Now before we begin, let us look at the words of wisdom by William Penn. William Penn said that speak properly and in as few words as you can, but always plainly, for the end of speech is not ostentation, but to be understood. Now, William Penn is the founder for the state of Pennsylvania in the United States. Now, what William Penn meant by these words of wisdom is when we deliver a speech or when we give something in a spoken form or addressing something to the audience in a form of a speech, talk, etc. What matters the most is for these people to understand what we have just delivered. It's not about the performance, it's not about the showmanship, it's about understanding the content of the speech. Now, the first principle is to know what to deliver. You must know the topic and the contents of your presentation, and it has to be relevant to your audience. Also, you must deliver your presentation effectively. If you know what you are delivering, surely your audience will understand your presentation. You must also support your ideas with relevant, updated, and recent sources. The summary of this principle is when you want to present a speech, you must be able to know what you are delivering. And that is why I always advise my students to choose a topic that is very dear to you, that is very close to you, or that you are very familiar with. Because when you talk about something that you are familiar with, that you like, that you are fascinated about, then you just know how to deliver your speech effectively. The second principle is your speech or your presentation should be short and sweet. Now, a brief and precise oral presentation will keep the audience intact. Am I right? When you deliver a speech that is too long, you will bore them down, and that includes me. So make sure that your speech is according to the duration that is told to you by me. For your first speech, which is your informative speech, it should be about 5 minutes. And for your second speech, which is your persuasive speech, it should be about 7 minutes. If a speaker talks too long on one point, the audience will shift his or her attention. Explain your ideas clearly, avoid using long and winding road explanation. The third principle is effective visual aids. Now, it is very important for you to understand that for your both speeches, you are required to use a visual aid. It is compulsory. Now use visual aids to capture the audience attention. I have explained about this during our first seminar, that by using the visual aid, it can help you to capture the attention of your audience. But you must also remember that your visual aid should not be the center of your speech. It is you. It is the speech, not your visual aid. The word aid means that to assist. Hence, we use visual aids to explain your points better and clear. Next, the principle is know who your audience is. I think this is very important, but that depends on the given circumstance. When you have a large crowd, I think it's very hard for you to know each and every single person. So what you can do is just to get to know them in general. Perhaps find things that the crowd shares in common. Moving on, good delivery. Good delivery means that number one, you use simple, nice, and understandable words. Do not impress your audience with jargons, big words, as if you are the master of the language. The purpose of your speech is to deliver the content, not to teach them about the language. But nonetheless, if you like to use perhaps new jargons that has always been or that has begun to be associated with the public. I give you an example. Given the COVID-19 circumstance, we are now using jargons or terminologies like social distancing. So when you use the terminology, it is okay because although your purpose of your speech or the purpose of your speech is to deliver the content, if it helps for you to educate your audience by learning new words or terminologies, that would be good. It's like killing two birds with one stone. Also, please pay attention at your gestures, at your voice, tone when you are presenting. Also, to include emotions. But you must remember, you're there to deliver a speech, not to stage a theater. Also, you must anticipate question and answer session. I suppose whenever we have or whenever we deliver a speech, there will always be Q&A. But there are also circumstances where you deliver your speech, but it does not include Q&A session. For your assessments, the first speech does not require a Q&A session. However, the second speech, there are marks allocated for Q&A. Nonetheless, for the second speech, I will be the one to ask you question.